something is happening behind the scenes at Atletico Madrid. For the second time in a row, Julian Alvarez has reportedly been blocked from making a dream transfer. First Barcelona, now a reported €150 million move involving Real Madrid. And this latest rejection has reportedly left Alvarez breaking down as tensions continue to grow behind the scenes. Let me catch you up. Here's where we are right now. Real Madrid released an official statement confirming that their club record €150 million offer for Julian Alvarez has been rejected by Atletico Madrid. That's not a leak, not a rumor. Real Madrid took the highly unusual step of publishing a formal announcement regarding their transfer business, confirming they saw a monumental €150 million proposal turned down. The statement itself was almost painfully formal. Real Madrid said the club made an offer of €150 million to Atletico Madrid for the federative rights of Alvarez, and Atletico expressed gratitude for the proposal, made within the framework of the good relations between both clubs, and rejected it, referring to the player's release clause. Alvarez has a contract until 2030 and a release clause of €500 million. So Atletico's message was simple: you want him? Pay €500 million, no exceptions. But here's what made it even bigger. This wasn't just any bid. Madrid president Florentino Perez, who was re-elected on Sunday until 2030, had announced last Friday he would make a €150 million offer. For a player this week, he'd been teasing it to his own supporters as a presidential promise, a Galactico signing to kick off his new term. And when the name dropped, it sent shockwaves through Spanish football. The announcement finally revealed the true identity of the mystery Galactico. That club president Florentino Perez had promised to sign following his re-election campaign. It was Alvarez, the man Atletico insists isn't going anywhere. Now, the reaction from Atletico Madrid wasn't a polished corporate rebuttal. It was something else entirely. Just minutes after Real's public statement, Atletico released a series of posts on X mocking their rivals, including suggesting the Pope was an Atletico fan, and stating they are even funnier than Barcelona with their attempts to land the Argentine. Their official clarification came point by point. Their statement read, "Official statement with our clarifications regarding the official statement from our neighbors Real Madrid. 1. Your video of the Pope got cut off before he said he was also an Atleti fan. 2. You may have confused politeness with gratitude, but just to be clear, we don't thank you for anything. 3. We are neither considering nor evaluating any offer for Julian. 4. How could we not get along when you make us laugh even more than Barcelona?" Then came the postscript. Atletico followed up with another message that read, "PS, taking advantage of the good relationship with your new president. Let's see if you stop stealing players from our academy." Tens of millions of views within hours, and amid all of it, the press releases, the laughing emojis, the internet going berserk, Julian Alvarez is preparing for a World Cup, watching two of the biggest clubs in the world fight over him, while his own club treats every bid like a joke. According to reports, Alvarez is deeply unhappy with Atletico Madrid's behavior and handling of the high-profile transfer negotiations involving a formal bid from Barcelona. Because this wasn't the first time, not even close. Real Madrid are not the only European powerhouse chasing the prolific attacker, as Barcelona reportedly saw a €100 million bid rejected just last week. 2 bids, 2 rejections, 2 wars on social media, and one player stuck in the middle, watching the window slam shut again. This is the second time this has happened to Julian Alvarez this summer. And to understand why it keeps happening, and why he reportedly feels the way he does, you have to go back to where all of this started. Julian Alvarez's career arc reads like something out of a football fairy tale, right up until the moment it didn't. He came up through the youth system at River Plate, one of Argentina's most storied clubs. After coming through the youth ranks at River Plate, which he joined in 2016, Alvarez made his professional debut with the club's first team in October 2018, and a few weeks later came off the bench during extra time in the Copa Libertadores final to win it. He was a teenager already winning silverware. In 2022, Manchester City won a heated race against many other elite sides to sign Alvarez from his boyhood club for the low price of £14 million. That year, he won the World Cup with Argentina, and became the first player ever to win a continental treble in the same season. Stop and think about that for a second. World Cup winner, treble winner, in the same calendar year. But at City, the reality was complicated. While Alvarez was unable to claim Erling Haaland's spot in the starting lineup, his versatility and effectiveness off the bench saw him register 17 goals and 5 assists. In City's treble-winning campaign, he was doing extraordinary things, but always in the shadow of someone else. Alvarez's role changed the following year, when he stepped in for an injured Kevin De Bruyne and played behind Haaland. He was brilliant in the role, creative, relentless, impossible to pin down, but it still wasn't his team. It never quite became his team. Alvarez was willing to leave Guardiola's serial English champions due to concerns over his playing time and the well-being of his family in Manchester. So a decision was made. Once he decided that he wanted to leave City, Alvarez's camp specifically sought out Atletico, where Diego Simeone pushed hard for the club to sign his compatriot, amid strong interest from Luis Enrique's Paris Saint-Germain. Alvarez's Argentina teammates Giuliano Simeone, Nahuel Molina, and Rodrigo de Paul also did their part in recruiting the 24-year-old to the Spanish capital. His own World Cup brothers were calling him up, telling him to come to Madrid. So he went. Atletico paid an initial 75 million euros for Alvarez. The bonuses package offered to Man City could take the deal's total value to a staggering 95 million euros, the second largest transfer outlay in club history, and City's record sale. Guardiola, characteristically understated, summed up the departure in a few words. "I don't know the reason why. He said to me he wants a new challenge. He feels it's what he needs to do," Guardiola said. And at Atletico, Alvarez did exactly what he promised. In his debut season, Alvarez scored 17 goals in La Liga and 29 in all competitions. His role under Diego Simeone morphing into that of a complete centre-forward. He'd escaped the bench, he'd found a home, he was the main man now. But Atletico's season, for all his individual brilliance, ended without a trophy. No La Liga title, no Champions League, and for a player who'd won everything at City, a treble, a World Cup, the absence gnawed at him. The itch to compete for titles at the very highest level came back stronger than ever. And when Barcelona came calling, everything changed. Barcelona's interest in Julian Alvarez didn't emerge from nowhere. ESPN previously revealed that Barca were targeting the striker as Robert Lewandowski's replacement. After tying up a €70 million deal for England winger Anthony Gordon in May, the Lewandowski era at Camp Nou was drawing to a close, and the club wanted a younger, more dynamic number 9 to power Hansi Flick's system into its next phase. Alvarez had reportedly made a move to Barcelona his priority. Reports from inside his camp made clear it wasn't just mild interest. It was his first choice, his dream move. Barcelona's sporting director Deco met with Fernando Hidalgo, the agent for Alvarez, in a hotel in Barcelona. The same report stated that Alvarez was the club's top priority for the number 9 position. So Barcelona moved quickly. Barcelona formally submitted a $116 million bid to Atletico Madrid to land the Argentine striker. And Atletico, they didn't just say no, they went to war. Atletico Madrid accused Barcelona of a relentless smear campaign in their pursuit of Alvarez, claiming the La Liga giants are responsible for calculated leaks, fake news, and constant disrespect. In an extraordinary series of social media posts, then came the posts. Atletico posted a trio of tongue-in-cheek offers for Barca stars Lamine Yamal, Pedri, and Rafinha on X and Instagram. After Barcelona were widely reported to have submitted a bid for Alvarez, the club posted alongside an image of Yamal in an Atletico shirt. "We've sent a fax to Barcelona with our transfer offer. 4 tickets for tomorrow's Bad Bunny concert, an annual subscription to ABC, and a bag of sunflower seeds. We eagerly await your response to prepare the announce." The internet lost it. Tens of millions of views. Everyone from football journalists to casual fans was screenshotting, resharing, arguing. It was chaos dressed up as comedy. But underneath the jokes, there was genuine fury. Atletico escalated their online attack to even more ruthless levels, leaving aside fake posts to throw accusations Barcelona's way, even bringing up the Negreira case that alleges the Catalans bribed the former vice president of the Royal Spanish Football Federation's refereeing committee. Atletico stated the player is not for sale and declared, "We are tired of months of lies, half-truths, harassment of our players in mixed zones, and absurd questions that are all part of a pre-arranged campaign." At one point, Atletico completely refused to issue an official response to Barcelona's formal bid. Just silence. No acknowledgement, as if the offer simply didn't exist. Barcelona remained intent on reaching an agreement for the striker, but there were currently no active negotiations due to Atletico's social media response, which was described as inflammatory. According to Cadena CUR, the situation was described as completely blocked. Although the player appreciated the possibility of a move to Barcelona, Atletico had no intention of letting their striker go. But here's the thing that separates this from a normal transfer saga. Alvarez wasn't just a bystander watching it play out on his phone. According to ESPN's Argentine insider Leo Paradiso, embedded in Kansas City, covering Argentina's World Cup training camp, Atletico's total silence left Alvarez really angry. He is deeply upset by the club's overall approach throughout these negotiations, including Atletico's mocking social media posts and their stubborn unwillingness to cooperate, with his desire to leave. And then it got even more personal. The frustration building inside Julian Alvarez wasn't just about a blocked transfer. It went much deeper than that. The ESPN reporter further revealed that Alvarez's frustration goes far deeper than a stalled transfer, with the player reportedly feeling completely mistreated by his club's administration. The rift initially widened at the end of the domestic season, when Alvarez made a massive physical sacrifice to play through the pain barrier in the second leg of Atletico's crucial UEFA Champions League semi-final against Arsenal. In order to recover from his ankle injury and be fit for the 2026 World Cup, Alvarez reportedly underwent special regenerative treatment. He put his body on the line for the club, played hurt, pushed through, and then immediately after the domestic campaign ended, Alvarez flew straight to the United States to join Argentina's World Cup camp. In the days following his departure, absolutely nobody from Atletico Madrid's executive board or staff reached out to ask how he was doing, check on his recovery, or even say goodbye. Not one call, not one message. For a player who'd sacrificed his physical well-being for the club, who'd played injured in a Champions League semi-final, the silence from the people above him felt like a statement, and not a flattering one. Manager Diego Simeone is reportedly open to letting the striker depart. True to his long-standing management philosophy, Simeone refuses to keep players who are no longer fully committed to his tactical project. Even the coach, it seems, understood the writing on the wall. But the club's public face, unmovable. Atletico's management views Alvarez as a key part of their project and is already planning for next season with him as the central figure of Simeone's attack. Intermediaries involved in the operation describe the negotiation as extremely complicated and are convinced that Alvarez will remain in the capital. The gap between what the club says publicly and what the player is feeling privately has turned into something close to a full fracture. On one side, an institution digging into contractual bedrock. On the other, a World Cup winner who played injured, got no phone call, and is watching his dream move get laughed off with Bad Bunny concert tickets. Alvarez is reportedly frustrated with Atletico's lack of competitiveness and is seeking to leave the club this summer, though it is believed he will not actively push for a transfer, as it does not seem likely he will force a move from Atletico. The Blaugranas were reportedly unwilling to submit an offer higher than 120 million euros, meaning that only pressure from Alvarez himself could pave the way for a move, which is precisely the problem. Because while Atletico holds the contract, holds the clause, and holds all the formal leverage, the one thing they can't control is how a player feels. And Alvarez, by all accounts, feels trapped. Now add Real Madrid to the pile, and the whole thing ignites all over again. Part 5. Trapped between two wars. By the time Real Madrid dropped their €150 million statement, the Julian Alvarez saga had already been burning for weeks. Barcelona's blocked bid, Atletico's viral social media warfare, an angry player in a World Cup training camp with an ankle in recovery and a phone that hadn't heard from his club. Then, Florentino Perez made his move. Before being re-elected as club president, Perez had promised supporters that he would make an offer for a Galactico immediately after retaining his position. That promise was the engine behind the bid. It was presidential theatre, and Alvarez was the name in the hat. But many in football circles saw something more calculated in the timing. Alvarez was already a top target for Barcelona, and Real Madrid's entry into the race was widely noted in that context. Although the Argentine striker appeared destined to join Hansi Flick's team, Real Madrid's offer could complicate his arrival at Barcelona, setting a higher transfer fee. That's the chess move. If Real's bid pushes Atletico's asking price up further, Barcelona, who've already said they won't match a full €150 million, could be priced out of the running entirely. After rejecting Real's offer, Atletico appeared determined to reject any bid below that amount. Unlike Barcelona, Real Madrid have no urgency to sign Alvarez, as they already have Vinicius Jr. and Kylian Mbappe in attack. So they can afford to throw a number out there, watch the chaos unfold, and walk away clean. Meanwhile, Arsenal were reportedly preparing to hold talks over a move for Alvarez. The Argentina international had previously demonstrated his quality in the Premier League with Manchester City. Both Arsenal and Barcelona had been credited with interest, according to AS. But Atletico was said to have been angered by the manner in which Barcelona approached their pursuit of the 26-year-old. That frustration reportedly led Atletico to block Barcelona from pushing forward with a deal, potentially handing Arsenal a crucial advantage. So now the landscape looks like this. Barcelona, his dream club, locked out by a €500 million wall, and Atletico's fury at how they handled it. Real Madrid, who made the bigger bid, almost certainly not a serious destination. Arsenal hovering, PSG watching, and Atletico standing in the middle of it all, lobbing jokes on social media, while a World Cup winner sits in a Kansas City training camp wondering what his future looks like. The club recently reiterated their not-for-sale position through sarcastic social media posts. However, club officials privately acknowledge it will be nearly impossible to retain Alvarez for the upcoming season. A complicated and protracted transfer saga is expected, with Barcelona and potentially PSG leading the chase. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano recently stated that Atletico were not intentioned to accept Barcelona's opening valuation, while adding that Alvarez's camp has made clear the striker wants to leave. And even though Atletico are determined to keep him, Alvarez's departure from the club following the 2026 World Cup is reportedly all but certain. So where does that leave him right now? He's got a World Cup to win with Argentina. He's got an Atletico shirt that the club insists he'll wear again next season. He's got Barcelona calling his name, and no clear path to get there. He played through injury for a club that didn't even text to check on him. He watched his biggest transfer dream get killed twice, once with Barcelona's blocked bid, and now with Real Madrid's rejected €150 million. Each time the door opens, Atletico boards it shut, pastes a meme over it, and dares anyone to come back. The contract says 2030. The clause says €500 million, but the internal breakdown makes it increasingly clear that Alvarez is set to leave Atletico following the World Cup. Whether he forces a move to stay in Spain with Barcelona or explores emerging fallback options in England and France, his time under Simeone appears to be coming to an end. This summer is far from over. The 2026 World Cup hasn't even finished. And when it does, when Alvarez has worn the Albiceleste one last time and returned to the question of his club future, this entire story is going to explode again. 2 wars, 2 blocked bids, 1 player who's told anyone willing to listen exactly where he wants to go. The question isn't whether Julian Alvarez leaves Atletico Madrid. The question is how much fire it takes to burn that door down.